Howdy folks, welcome to another beautiful, hot and sunny day out here in West Vancouver. Today we're going to talk about immigration. There was a big meeting or speech or something from the immigration minister today, and he actually dropped a couple of interesting facts, which I thought you guys would enjoy. So the first thing is, why does Canada need immigration? What happens is, in any economy, you've got people that are working, that are paying taxes, and then when they retire, they have certain benefits from those taxes. And you need taxpayers to fund all the benefits that the government gives. Now, Canada has a lot of benefits: free medical, free healthcare. People are getting looked after in their old age. There's a lot of benefits in Canada. Now, the problem is that generally, the taxes a person pays throughout his life isn't enough to cover the benefits at the end of life. What they were saying is that 50 years ago, for every person that retired, there was 7 people working and paying taxes. And that was a very healthy system, because you had enough tax money coming in to look after the unemployed and the retired people. Because also, got to remember that in today's day and age, people live a lot longer after retirement. You know, if you retire at 65, I think the median age around here is now in the 90s already. So people live a lot longer, and there's a lot more money that needs to be spent in their retirement. And the problem that they have right now, like I said, 50 years ago, there were seven taxpayers for every person that retired. At the moment, it's down to 3 taxpayers for every person that retired. So the country sits with a giant problem, like most other Western countries. Well, like most other countries in the world, is if you have these benefit systems, they are absolutely amazing. It's great, and that is how society should work. But those systems need to be funded from somewhere. And the only way to fund that system is by taxes and taxpayers. And if you don't have enough taxpayers, then you are steering towards a collapse. So the only way that Canada can get more taxpayers is by opening up immigration and pushing immigration and getting more economically active people into the economy, grow the taxes, and that's how they can afford to have all these benefits. It does seem a little bit like they're kicking the can down the road, because I believe, from what I know, in the Western world specifically, I think apart from Africa and most of the world, population growth is negative. So you would generally have, where people used to have lots of kids. So in other words, when they retire, they had a lot of kids, 5, 6, 7 kids that would go into the workforce. You don't have that anymore. Nowadays, people have 1 kid or 2 kids. So they're actually not even replacing themselves, because I think statistically, every family needs to have 2.1 kids just to replace the parents, just for a level and equal population growth. And right now, I think in America and places like that, I don't have the exact numbers, but I think it's just around 1 point something kids per family. So we are looking at a population decline, and that population decline means that there's less taxpayers, less people working, less people economically active, and that has a serious impact on the benefits and the financial health of the country. Anyway, long story, but so what they're doing is, that's why they're bringing in more and more economically active immigrants. That's also when they obviously give preference to younger people to come in, because if you bring in somebody in his 20s, he's got 50 years of working and paying taxes before he needs to start siphoning off from the system, before he stops being economically active, and he needs to start getting paid back for everything that he put in. So it's an interesting thing. Now you understand why Canada needs immigration. The other interesting thing that the minister spoke about today is, he says that they have now gone, look, Canada's got a huge backlog with immigration applications, PRs and express entries and things like that, purely through COVID-19. COVID-19 shut down everything. So what they've decided to do is, they've decided to split the applications in 2. And all the new applications goes into a new system, and that system adheres to the pre-2019 timeline. So before in 2019, if you applied, it would take 6 months to get something done. Now it takes 26 months. So all new applications goes into a system that works according to the pre-COVID timeline. So if you apply now, you will only be there for 6 months. And all the backlogged applications, everything that they've been struggling to work through, they're taking that off and they're sticking it into a completely different system, and they're going to work that off at their own time, which, you know, is obviously not ideal for us. So if we applied right now, we would have like a 6-month timeline, where we're currently sitting on a 24-month timeline. Although I have to say, they are doing their best. They are really working towards it. I think he said they're going to employ another 1,250 people in the next month or two, just to work on that backlog. So in other words, they've got this, I think they mentioned 2.8 million applications in the backlog. Still a lot of applications. So anyway, they're going to employ another 1,250 people working on that. They're working on systems to speed it up and to work through that backlog. But basically, effectively, what they did is they were just like, shit, this mountain is too high to get sorted, and everybody gets thrown on top. So we're taking this whole lot, stick them in a different system, so the normal system can carry on running without a backlog, and then we deal with that separately. And of course, we are in that pile. Hey, it is what it is. I think he also said that so far this year they've approved 275,000 permanent residencies, which would put them on track to have a record year for the most PRs approved in 1 year. So Canada's looking for immigrants, Canada's looking for economically active people, and they are really pulling out all the stops to make the systems run smoother and easier. Even though I complain about their website and their paperwork sometimes, you know, I like this place and I think they are doing a great thing. Well, another interesting thing the minister said, obviously, was he's like, and you know, you have people complaining about immigration. He's like, we are all immigrants. Most people in Canada, yes, maybe you're second generation or third generation, but there's not a lot of people that were born in Canada, that originated in Canada. I guess that would be the First Nations folk only. I mean, everybody else is really immigrants. Anyway, so a little bit of information on the immigration from the minister today, and an immigration update. Let's hope that extra pile that they have there is not going to take too long, and we get our PR soon. You all must have a good one. Cheers.